Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Parmer versus Ross.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Good day. Ms. Parmer, you opened today's case because the defendant is denying he fathered your 3-month-old son, Jace. You recently met your own father for the first time and refused to have your son grow up without his father like you did. Mr. Ross, you say Ms. Parmer is pinning her child on you because you have money, and you are in court to prove once and for all you are not her child's father. So, Ms. Parmer, how does it feel having to raise your son alone?
Your Honor, it's hard. I deal with it only because I'm a mother. And it's just like...
Your Honor, first of all, we used condoms every time we had sex.
We never use condoms, Your Honor.
He's denying your child, as we can see, Ms. Parmer. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're raising the child alone?
Yes, Your Honor.
With absolutely no help from Mr. Ross?
Correct.
Jace is 3 months old?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, you're denying that this baby is yours, Mr. Ross, because you say you use condoms throughout the relationship?
Yes, Your Honor.
What was the nature of this relationship?
We were just friends with benefits, Your Honor.
I can see that this really hurts you. Ms. Parmer, what has it been like raising this child on your own?
It's hard. I raised my daughter by myself, and I never thought I would have to go through this myself, not once again. And it's just like, to deal with this, I feel like I should have to go through this. I didn't ask for this, but I took upon all of this because that's what a woman's supposed to do.
And you feel alone in this entire process of raising your child?
I do. I did it with my daughter.
To date, he's done nothing, am I correct?
Correct.
Your Honor, I'm not gonna do nothing for a child that I know is not mine.
And so you admittedly have not done anything for this child?
No, I have not
All
done
right.
anything.
So talk to me about the nature of this relationship.
I met Jessica in Birmingham, Alabama at a gas station. It was cold outside, she was pumping gas. She had a daughter in the car. So I walked over and asked her, could I pump her gas for her? So she wouldn't have to stand outside in the cold. So I got done pumping the gas, asked her for a number because she was looking good. So once I got a number, we got the text. Next morning, she texted me, good morning. I told her good morning. She asked me what I was doing, asked me if I want to come over. I told her, yeah. I asked her to send the address. She sent the address. The address was 0.1 miles away. I said, oh, that's walking distance. I can go ahead and go over there and get something real quick. So,
what? After just meeting her at the gas station?
Well, I went to her house. She gave it to me. And I asked, we were having sex for 2 weeks, but we were using protection the whole 2 weeks. And I asked her for a serious relationship. She told me that she wasn't ready yet because she was still messing around with other guys.
Oh, so you went over there, you all had sex this first day after meeting at the gas station one day, the next day, good morning, and the next day y'all were in the bed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so you have sex, and then you continue to have sex for 2 weeks.
Yes, Your Honor.
You want to get serious with her.
Yes, ma'am.
But she says to you, no.
Yes.
When she told you she did not want a relationship.
I broke it off.
You just broke it off?
Right then, because I didn't feel safe with me. She having sex with other guys, and the rate of disease is high, so I ain't got no reason. I try to be with her.
Is that true, Ms. Parmer?
Yes, Your Honor. I wasn't ready for a relationship only because I had just got out of a relationship.
Okay, well, that's fair. You were honest. So you weren't ready to settle down, but are you admitting as well that during this period of time, you're also sleeping with other people?
I met someone before him, and then it's just like when I started talking to him, it was just only him. But the month before,
Your Honor,
it was
she told me she
someone
was talking to somebody.
I was talking to someone the previous month, yes. But the month that I met him, no.
So how soon after that did you find out you were pregnant?
And I was telling my friend, I said, something's not right. And she told me to come over, and we're gonna do a pregnancy test. We went to the store, we purchased 4 pregnancy tests. I took 2, both of them came back positive. And after that, that's when I went to the doctor. They told me my conception date was between the 6th and the 9th. I met Mr. Ross on the 7th. We had sex on the 8th.
Were you having sex with anybody else during that time?
No, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Ross, how soon after this did you hear, after this breakup?
Your Honor, about a month or 2 later, she sent a picture text message, which was a pregnancy test. I asked her, what's the pregnancy test for? She tells me that it wasn't for me. It was for the other guy she thought was the father of her child.
Wait, what?
Your Honor, I told him that it was someone else.
Well, if that's the case, she had to been sleeping around then.
Well, yeah, then this doesn't make sense, Ms. Parmer. So you accidentally send this pregnancy test to Mr. Ross, but you thought you were sending it to the other guy?
It was a mistake on sending it to him. So once he continued to deny, it's just like, I left it where it was, and I, continue with
of course I'm gonna
the
deny it.
alleged father.
Of course I'm gonna deny it because she told me that I wasn't a father. And 9 months later, after she had a baby, she comes to me and tells me, well, I think you are the father. So of course I'm gonna have doubts because if she told me that I'm not the father and she was sleeping around with this guy and she lied, then who else to say that she might not be sleeping around with somebody else?
Okay, hold on. You give him this text message and you say, and this text message is a picture of the pregnancy results.
Correct.
You say to him, oops, I'm sorry, that wasn't meant for you.
Yes, Your Honor.
So now, is it fair to assume that a reasonable person in his position would say, if I get a pregnancy result and the mother says to me, oops, that wasn't for you, is it fair to assume then that you didn't think he was the child's biological father?
She told me it wasn't fair. She told me that she was sorry. She told me that she just wanted to try to see if I was the child father. But she didn't even know if I'm the child father. She just guessing.
Lauren Lake here, giving you 5 seconds to subscribe and click on the notification bell. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So she apologizes for sending you this test.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
You move on, you go forward with the other guy. At what point do you come back to Mr. Ross and say, I have changed my mind, I think you are my child's biological father? When does that happen?
In the beginning of August, me and the alleged father, we got a DNA test. And in the midst of us getting a DNA test and the results came back, I immediately contacted Mr. Ross.
You immediately did?
Yes.
And what did you say when you reached out to him?
I asked him to do a DNA test for me. And he told me that he was not the father. And then it's just like got to the point where he wanted to, he started claiming my son, sending pictures, everything. He made the statement of he would help me buy a car seat.
I said I would help buy a
Not
car
only
seat 'cause I
that,
felt
he
bad.
was claiming my son at the time. And
I
he
didn't never
even-
claim her son. At this point in time, I was in California. She sent me the text messages. I just kept blocking. I blocked her over 4 times. I didn't change my number over 2 times. I told her I'm not the father of that child.
When you get this communication that I do believe you're my child's father at this point.
And I told her no, I don't think I am.
So
Well, I
how
know
do
I'm
you
not.
go from saying, no, I know I'm not your child's father, to, but I'll buy you a car seat?
Because I felt bad. And she kept bothering me. I mean, I had to change my number. I had to do
You
something.
felt bad,
I had
but
to
you
do
didn't
something.
attempt to help me either.
I said I was gonna buy a car seat. I ain't say I was gonna buy a fraternity test. She trying to trap me because she know I have money. She asking me for
It's
things.
not about money,
She
Your
never
Honor.
asked me to
It's
come
not
see the
about
child.
money at all.
She never asked me to come see the
I
child.
don't need
She asked me to
for him
come
to
buy
do anything
stuff.
for my
So
son.
in your opinion, Ms. Parmer, how does it go from that point? Because this is where I feel like it goes from I'm positive I'm not the child's father to, well, maybe I am, and just in case, I want to kind of support and make sure I've done right by the child. Because what other reason would you have to buy a car seat unless you just, are being kind-hearted, but this is a woman you only had a 2-week relationship with.
The reason I said I'm gonna buy the car seat because she left her car seat in my truck.
What was
And
she doing in your truck?
this
He
was
used
when
to
we
let
was
me
talking.
drive
I
his
used to
car.
let her
That's the
drive
bad
it.
thing about it. He
I
used to let me drive
I used
his
to let
car.
her drive it because her car was messed up at the time. Like I said, we was
And
talking
he
for 2
took
weeks.
he took the initiative of
Okay,
being a
all
boyfriend.
right, got it. Okay, you said in your testimony just a few moments ago that there was a point in time when he had kind of bought into this notion of that the baby was his.
He used to say that he used to look like him. He always said, my son this, my son that, and then it's just like all of a sudden it changed.
I never said that child looked like me. I know that child.
It's obvious my son looked like you. My son has the same lips, same eyes, same ears. My son has short limbs. I'm tall, obviously, Your Honor.
That's a newborn baby. You gotta.
Regardless if
Like,
it's
that's
newborn
what
or
the first
not.
picture, like, go to him now.
If my son and his oldest daughter was side by side, you would think it's the same exact baby.
No, you wouldn't. Real light. And
He even told me that my son is not his son because my son doesn't have good hair.
At the end of the day, we know babies come in all shapes, sizes, and colors with all different textures of hair and everything else, and we don't talk about what's light, what's dark, what's good, what's bad. Everything about this baby is innocent and good. And too innocent and too good to have a paternity issue hanging over his head when he's 3 months old. He deserves the love of his father.
I grew up without my
We don't
father.
know if that's you, Mr. Ross. We don't know for certain if that's you, but we do know the child deserves it.
yeah, it deserves.
All right, so now, you, Ms. Parmer, You said you grew up without your father.
I did. I didn't meet my father until a week before I gave birth to my son. And my dad actually looked for me. So it's just like, I don't want the same for my son. It's not a good feeling to have one parent and not the other. And he's a boy, so it's just like, I don't want my son just to feel like his dad never cared.
And what was that like for you growing up without your father?
It was hard because it's just like, I never knew about my dad, but they never initiated the fact who my dad actually was. I tried to research my own father. I never, I gave up after so long. And just for my father to find me a week before I gave birth, my father has really came into my life and changed my life. And I just don't want the same for my son. Like, he doesn't deserve it at all.
And so you feel like Mr. Ross is just attempting to avoid his responsibility?
I honestly do. So it's just like for my son, both my kids both look like their father. They don't look like me at all.
Your Honor, after all this happened, she kept saying, I said, before I even send you any kind of money, you're gonna have to get a DNA test in because I'm not finna just give you no money.
He told me he was not gonna pay for one, so
I told him
I
not gonna
told
pay for
him,
one.
look.
Because that's
this
the
is our
case, she
next
could have
step.
just told me I was the father when she thought the other guy was, and we wouldn't have to do that. We had to do it at the hospital. But
So you told her, I want a DNA test, but I'm not willing to pay for it.
first thing she told me, she said, well, I'm gonna put you on child support. I know how to handle this.
I mean, I do.
So
I
you
mean,
tell me how I should
why
feel.
should I continue to make you or anything like that to take care of your son? I shouldn't have to do that.
Your Honor, I can't.
Well, I do, hold on. Well, I do feel like, Ms. Parmer, we have to state the obvious. Once you send a pregnancy test to a man and then tell him, oops, wrong man, I think it is a little bit unfair to tell him, oh, I know how to handle this. I'm gonna put you on child support. And you know you have not had a DNA test yet.
I mean, that was gonna be the only way that I would have gotten a DNA test was child support. So that's the only reason that I told him that I would put him on child support.
Your Honor, it's not like I was avoiding.
So you were trying to leverage that to make him take the test?
Yes.
So let me ask you this. Are there any other possibilities? You admitted to him that you didn't want to settle down because you were dating other people, you were single, you had just gotten out of a relationship and you weren't ready. Are there any other people besides, any other men besides the man, the other person, and Mr. Ross?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, she was messing around with more guys because the guy she thought was her father, he actually is my cousin friend. And I actually know the guy.
I didn't know they knew each other, if they did know each other.
So of
Guess
course,
what?
of course, he
I
told
wouldn't
me
have-
everything. He told me I wasn't.
He didn't tell him anything because once I got my DNA test, that was it.
But you were cheating on him,
I was not cheating on him.
and it wasn't with me. He told me, he was like, are you the father of Jessica Child? I said, no. He said, well, I'm not either because I took the DNA test. And that's when me and him got to talking. He was like, well, she already cheated on me before, and that's before me and Jessica even knew each other. So, of course, she had been sleeping around with me. Plus, like she said, she was sleeping around with other guys, and guys is plural. That means more than one.
It means more than one, but Your Honor, it was only the other guy and Mr. Ross. And what makes it so bad is they was months apart. So it's just like, I wouldn't even attempt or bring anyone else into this.
I don't understand how it could be months apart.
All right.
She said that he could have been a father. So it had to been sometime in the same conception.
So, Ms. Parmer, when you say you know he's the father, you talk about because it looks like him. It seems to me that you seem wishy-washy on whether or not it was truly only him you were sleeping with besides the other guy.
It was only him.
In the month of November?
Correct.
What about the month of October?
The month of October, I was with the alleged father.
All right. It's time for the results, Jerome.
Okay.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Parmer versus Ross, when it comes to 3-month-old Jace Parmer, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Ross, you are the father.
So what's next after this? Are you gonna step up and be his father? I was without my father for 23 years of my life.
Yeah, I helped to take care of him.
Ms. Parmer, I know. When you tell me about your life and the fact you grew up without your father, I have compassion for you, but I am not surprised. Because what we know in this courtroom is that these situations repeat themselves. They are generational curses they pass down, and they keep repeating themselves until somebody has the courage to break it. And in this moment, you had that courage. And now, Mr. Ross, despite your testimony, this is your biological son. And when you say to her, I'm gonna help you take care of him, it's a lot to that. You understand that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That means financially, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And has she said now you can do it voluntarily, or she can go to court in your home state and you will have court-ordered child support? You all have to talk about that. You all have to figure out how to co-parent, and you have to learn how to talk to one another and respect one another. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
We have counseling and resources for you. I want you to talk to Dr. Jeff. I want you to figure out, how do you co-parent? Don't be ashamed to just say, I don't know, I've never done this. I don't even know how to do it well. Find other people that have co-parented. Ask them questions. It is not an easy thing to do, but it's possible. I wish you all the very best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Court is adjourned.